I'm Trista with Polite Paws, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to teach your dog to do a touch or targeting cue using a marker. In this case, we're going to use a pen light because the dog I'm training today is completely deaf. So normally we would use a click mark or a verbal marker like yes or good to communicate with our dogs that they did the right behavior. But in Belle's case, those things would be meaningless for her because she couldn't hear them. So instead, I taught her that she knows that when this light goes off, she's going to get a treat and she's done the behavior that I like. She's like, what kind of yummy treat do we have today? It's cheese. It's Colby Jack. I think you like Colby Jack. So make sure you have a treat that your dog really likes and you have your marker selected, and then we'll get started. So, Belle doesn't actually know this cue very well. We've done it a couple of times, so this will be good practice for you guys to see a dog that's new at doing a behavior. We're going to use capturing, so that's a technique where we're going to have the dog naturally do the behavior, and then we're going to capture it with the marker, followed by a treat. So dogs are naturally inquisitive, so I love to teach them this cue very quickly. If you guys have had a private session with me, you probably saw me work this cue with your dog. But all you have to do is stick your hand out. And dogs are naturally inquisitive, so they'll typically come and check out a hand that is all of a sudden at eye level. So this is best done with your own dog. It doesn't work quite as well with a stranger dog, though I do use it with a lot of my student dogs. And also, Belle does not have any teeth. She is 13 years old, a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, so she might take a little while to eat her treats compared to Bitzy or your dogs who are going to scarf down those treats really fast. So I'm going to ask her for the behavior again. So again, I just stick my hand out. As soon as she bumps my hand, I use the marker, which she can see, so she knows she's going to get a treat. And I've captured that behavior at the exact moment she did the skill that I wanted, which is touch your nose to my hand. So again, you can see she's getting a little bit faster. She's like, oh, okay, I get this game. This is a fun find your hand game. And she knows that's going to be rewarded. She's looking for it right away, make sure she can see the mark in this case, and she gets her treat. So I've done it with my right hand so far. I'm going to switch it up, and it is a little trickier coordination-wise to use the pen light. This is going to be easier if you have a clicker. I love the clicker that fits on your hand, a ring clicker, or that one kind of, you can palm it, or just using a verbal marker like yes. But in this case, since she's deaf, I'm going to use the visual. So I'm going to stick my left hand out this time, and as soon as she bumps it, she gets marked and she gets her treat. Good girl. So changing up the hand might cause your dog to be confused as to what you want. In Belle's case, she's got it figured out very quickly. She says, I know this game, so she's catching on very well. Good job. So when you teach your dog this new game, make sure that you practice with all the members of your family. Make sure that you're patient. Belle isn't showing a dog that's hesitant, but a lot of times you'll stick your hand out and your dog might look at it but might not come to it right away. Just wait. Their curiosity will get the best of them. Don't worry about if it takes a few seconds or even maybe a minute for them to finally come over and investigate your hand. Resist the urge to wiggle it or bob it or call your dog. You just want to use the simple visual cue, your hand sticking out. There she even hopped over to get it as a means to say, come touch my hand. Now, you guys probably know by now that I really like to do short training sessions, 2 to 5 minutes. So I might work with Belle on this skill for 2 to 5 minutes. And I might work, this is my living room, I might work here, and then I might move to the kitchen, and then I might do a session in the bedroom, and in the basement, and upstairs. Mix it up every day, do a little different location, but keep the sessions really short so your dog is engaged and you don't get bored or frustrated. And then you can start moving it to more challenging situations, like maybe outside, or maybe when you take your dog for a walk, you can mix the touch cue in just with your normal day-to-day activities. Good job, Belle. Now, you might be saying, why don't I say the word touch before I present my hand to let my dog know what I want. Well, in this case, it would mean nothing because Belle can't hear me. But even if I had a hearing dog, I would wait to use that verbal cue until my dog was consistently doing the behavior on the visual cue. So we want them to clearly know what we want before we start saying touch and then asking for the cue. We risk the dog being confused about what that verbal cue touch means unless we consistently get the behavior first. So have at least 5 successful sessions, those short sessions, where the dog is becoming very quick at finding your hand and playing the game. Then you can start to clearly say, and it needs to be 2 distinct things, touch, oops, hold on, we gotta wait because Belle's still working on her tree. Are you ready now? So we're gonna say touch, present her hand, she bumps it. I think I clicked, sorry, I was a little late on that. Bad example of timing there. Let me try again so you guys have a good example. And you can see one way to use this cue is for a recall. So if my dog's over there and I want to recall her, I could call her name. Well, in Belle's case, I can't because she can't hear me, but I could stick my hand out and yes, and she knows to come right away. Now, if she were hearing, I would be able to get her attention first and say her name. And in this case, she's already paying attention to me. I'll say touch, present my hand, and then click and treat. Now, make sure that you say touch clearly before you present your hand, and then you can gradually drop the hand cue and just say touch. Your dog will come to you and look for your hand. Of course, you have to stick it out for them to touch, but that's going to be a policy that you'll see with all the cues we teach our dogs. We're going to get them to do the behavior consistently and then put it on a verbal cue. All right, that's it for today. Belle's really got the hang of touch. I'm going to be done with her for today because that was a really great session. We're going to end on a good note. And then I'm going to start again tomorrow and do another little session. Okay, I've got Bitzy here, and she's going to demonstrate the touch cue with a verbal cue. So for Bitzy, all I have to do is say the word because we practice a lot. She's already here. She needs to go away first. Come here. Down. Sit. Bitzy, touch. And that is how you perform a touch cue. I really love to use touch to pull my dog. Let's say my dog's on the sofa and I need her to move off. I will just simply put my hand down for a touch. I'll show you. Come on up, Bits. Good girl. Touch. Good. And that's a very quick, let's try that again, Bits. Come on up. Stay. Bitsy, come touch. That's a very good way to encourage your dog to move from one position to another. Or let's say she's doing this dance cue that I've taught her. It's a replacement behavior from jumping. I could ask her for a very low cue, which she'll do and will prevent her from that jumping behavior. Or maybe I want to get a cute picture of her in a specific position, maybe in a chair. I can ask her to come up for a touch. So touches can be really, really valuable as a recall or just as a fun game to work with your dog to put them in different positions.